There are words that humans write, and then there are words that seem to exist before humans ever speak them. For thousands of years, one collection of texts has stood at the center of this mystery. The Vedas, revered as the oldest sacred scriptures of Hindu tradition. The Vedas are often described not as books written by human authors, but as divine knowledge heard by ancient sages in deep states of spiritual awareness. Yet historians, linguists, and archaeologists ask a different question. If these texts were spoken, preserved, and transmitted across generations, who truly created them? Were they revelations from a cosmic source, whispered to humanity through enlightened minds? Or were they the result of centuries of human observation, philosophy, and evolving cultural knowledge? The deeper we explore this mystery, the more fascinating it becomes, because the story of the Vedas is not just about religion or history. It is about the origin of knowledge itself. Welcome to this exciting new episode of the channel, The Eternal Odyssey, where we explore the stories of myths and fantasies. Chapter 1, The Sacred Sound of the Beginning. Long before ink touched parchment, and long before books filled libraries, knowledge traveled through sound. In ancient India, the Vedas were never originally written down. They lived entirely within the human voice. Generations of sages, known as Rishis, memorized thousands of verses with astonishing precision and passed them to their students. Through oral recitation, every syllable, every tone, and every rhythm carried immense significance. A single mispronounced sound was believed to alter the meaning of the universe itself. This oral tradition was so refined that even today, scholars marvel at its accuracy across millennia. The Vedas themselves contain four major collections: the Rigveda, Samaveda, Yajurveda, and Atharvaveda, each serving a different purpose, from hymns and rituals to philosophical reflections. According to tradition, these texts were not written by human beings, but heard by the Rishis during moments of profound spiritual insight. The Sanskrit word used for this is shruti, meaning that which is heard. This idea forms the foundation of the belief that the Vedas are not of human origin. Chapter 2, The Rishis. In many religious traditions, sacred texts are attributed to prophets or founders who composed them. But the Vedas present a very different picture. The Rishis who transmitted the verses never claimed authorship. Instead, they describe themselves as seers, who are individuals who perceived eternal truths already present in the cosmos. Imagine standing beneath a vast sky and suddenly understanding the hidden patterns that govern existence. That was how the sages described their experience. They did not believe they created the knowledge. They believed they discovered it. This concept suggests that the Vedas existed in some cosmic sense before humanity even recognized them. Ancient Indian philosophy often compares these truths to natural laws. Just as gravity exists, whether or not humans understand it, spiritual truths are thought to exist independently of human thought. The Rishis, through meditation and disciplined awareness, were believed to have tuned their minds to a universal frequency of knowledge. Chapter 3, The Language of the Gods. The Vedas were composed in an ancient form of Sanskrit so archaic that even classical Sanskrit scholars struggle to interpret certain passages today. The language is poetic, symbolic, and layered with meaning. Many hymns describe cosmic forces as deities, such as Agni the fire, Indra the warrior of the skies, Varuna the guardian of cosmic order. At first glance, these verses appear to be mythological praise songs, yet deeper study reveals philosophical depth and complex cosmological ideas. Some scholars believe the Vedic poets were encoding natural phenomena within symbolic language, using mythology as a framework for understanding the universe. Others argue the hymns are genuine expressions of spiritual experience, capturing the awe of early humans encountering the mysteries of existence. regardless of interpretation. The linguistic sophistication of the Vedas suggests a highly developed intellectual culture, far older than previously imagined. Chapter 4, the timeline mystery. One of the most debated questions surrounding the Vedas is their age. Traditional Hindu belief often places the Vedas far beyond recorded history, sometimes stretching their origins tens of thousands of years into the past. Modern historians, however, rely on linguistic analysis and archaeological evidence to estimate that the earliest layers of the Rig Veda were composed around 1500 to 1200 BCE. This difference in timelines creates a fascinating tension between faith and scholarship. For believers, the Vedas are timeless truths revealed to humanity at the dawn of civilization. For historians, they represent the intellectual achievements of early Indo-Aryan societies in the Indian subcontinent, yet even modern research acknowledges that the oral tradition preserving these texts is one of the most extraordinary feats of human memory ever recorded. Chapter 5, the power of oral tradition. To modern audiences accustomed to written texts and digital archives, it may seem impossible that thousands of verses could survive unchanged for centuries without writing. Yet ancient Indian scholars developed sophisticated methods to ensure accuracy. Students memorized the Vedas in multiple patterns of recitation. They recited them forward, backward, alternating, and in interwoven forms, thus creating a kind of verbal encryption system. This ensured that any alteration would be immediately detected. In many ways, this oral preservation method was more reliable than early written manuscripts, which could easily degrade or be altered by scribes. The dedication required to maintain this tradition speaks to the immense reverence ancient society held for these sacred sounds. Chapter 6, knowledge or revelation. The deeper we examine the Vedas, the more they blur the line between divine revelation and human intellectual evolution. Some verses explore profound philosophical questions. What existed before creation? What is the nature of consciousness? One famous hymn in the Rig Veda even admits uncertainty about the origin of the universe, suggesting that perhaps even the highest gods may not know how existence began. This humility is remarkable for such an ancient text. It suggests that the Vedic thinkers were not merely repeating inherited beliefs, but actively exploring the mysteries of reality. In this sense, the Vedas may represent a fusion of spiritual insight and early scientific curiosity. Chapter 7, Vyasa and the organization of the Vedas. While the hymns themselves were transmitted through generations of sages, tradition credits a legendary figure known as Vyasa with organizing the vast body of Vedic knowledge into the 4 structured collections we know today. Vyasa's role was not to create the hymns, but to arrange and preserve them for future generations. This act of compilation transformed an immense oral tradition into a more accessible form, ensuring that the wisdom of the Vedas would endure even as societies changed. Chapter 8, modern scholarship and ancient wisdom. Today, the study of the Vedas continues across disciplines ranging from linguistics and anthropology to philosophy and religious studies. Scholars analyze their poetic structures, compare their themes with other Indo-European traditions, and explore the cultural environment in which they emerged. Yet despite centuries of research, the Vedas remain partially mysterious. Their symbolic language, layered meanings, and vast philosophical scope resist simple interpretation. For many people, this mystery is precisely what gives the text their enduring power. Chapter 9, the question that remains. So, who really wrote the Vedas? The answer may depend on how we define knowledge itself. If knowledge rises purely from human observation and thought, then the Vedas are extraordinary creations of ancient intellectual culture. But if knowledge can also emerge through moments of profound insight that feel larger than the individual mind, then perhaps the sages were right. Perhaps they truly heard something universal. The Vedas may represent the meeting point between human curiosity and the deeper patterns of existence. As the echoes of those ancient hymns continue to resonate through time, they remind us that the search for truth is one of humanity's oldest journeys, whether revealed by the cosmos or discovered by brilliant minds. The wisdom of the Vedas invites us to ask bigger questions about the universe and our place within it. If this exploration into one of history's greatest mysteries sparked your curiosity, don't let the journey end here. Like this video if you enjoyed uncovering the secrets of ancient knowledge. Share it with someone who loves mythology and history, and subscribe to join us as we continue exploring the hidden stories that shaped civilizations and still whisper their truths to the modern world. Thank you